Jayam Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Sutta Shishimaji Divine Grace is compound by Charya Jagadguru. You see Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Sutta Shishimaji Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Ananda Guru Vaibhava Namo Charya Srila Haridasa Guru Prem Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sriya Advaita Prabhupada Dasad Ora Bhakti Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shankar Radha Giri Guru Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Maithura Jagannath Puri Ram ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Ganges Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. Glory to Sri Sri Guru Sri Gauranga.
Jai, 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 Jayo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Bo. Namo Shivaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tita Swami Chinamine Namaste Krishna Prabhupada.
Chaitanya Mano Distam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Adantishwa Padampitu Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Prabhadatam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Shadajahatan Sahagana Raghunatam Vipantam Sajivan Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Savitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Satancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Banjo Jagatpati Gopisa Gopika Kankara.
Maharaj, please can you mute?
Vanchakalpataru Yascha Kupa Sundhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanyo Vaishnavyo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Sarasvasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Continue our study discussion from Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 1. Chapter 18 is Dhira quits home. We'll continue from text 24. Agniri Nishrishtu Datascha Garudharascha Dushita Ritam Shetram Tanam Desham Tadhatari Asubhi Priya Agniri Nishrishtu Datascha Garudharascha Dushita Ritam Shetram Tanam Desham Tadhatari Asubhi Priya Agniri Nishrishtu Datascha Garudharascha Dushita Ritam Chitram Anandeshan Kadatairi Asubi Priya. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by action and poisoning. You also insulted one of their wives, and you showed their kingdom and wealth. This is Dhira speaking to the Dhira is speaking to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was, after everything is done, he was still very attached. His 100 sons are dead. The kingdom, he worked so hard. The kingdom for which the war was fought is lost. Everything was against him. The body is old. Even here in the material world, people are looking for a job now. Nobody would like to take someone who's 70 years to work in his company, you know? I want to get someone who is 20. Why? Because I've got the base of their life. So he's already old. Everything is so that they have all gone against him, but still a strong attachment to gratify this body, some quenchable in the heart of conditioned souls. So Dhritarashtra was shamelessly being maintained by people whom he tried to kill many times. We are human beings. We are human beings. To forgive does not mean that one is a fool. To be compassionate does not mean one is senseless. To tolerate does not mean that one is incapable. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that the Pandavas, they fought and destroyed 11 Akshobhini divisions. From 7, they defeated 11. That is a big signal for someone to understand, I cannot defeat this person in any way. Duryodhana's mother, Gandhari, she gave blessing to you, this trial. May you be victorious. He gave blessing to his own son. May you live long. It means what? There's danger ahead of him. There's a danger. He didn't tell you this Samara, you will live long. He told him you will be victorious. She knew you will always be a winner. So may you be victorious. She did not give that benediction to his son, to her son, because she knew my son is full of inauspiciousness in his life. So there's nothing like auspiciousness. So what is the use of blessing you? Eh? What is the use of blessing with auspiciousness? It doesn't, it's not their life. It's not their life. So Vidura took compassion upon his senior brother and is speaking to him. There's no need to live a degraded life. See what you are seeing. Don't look at your life. Look at your life. Yeah? What is there for you to live for? What? Look carefully. What is there that you are looking for? Yeah? Is it a long life? You spend more than half of your life. You are closing to death. So what are you looking for? In the future, you do someone who is younger than you, going to die before you, and you talk about the kingdom of God. What are you looking for? What are you living for? He shouted, despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live, even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. The body will deteriorate like an old garment. A sensible person should not waste time patching your clothes, patching your tire. A sensible person should do what? Go and buy a new cloth. Or go and buy a new tube or new tire in your car. If a sensible person. Don't waste your time patching. Krishna told me, I'm doing the same thing. He knows me that he Komara Yovanam Jara. Tata the Hantara Bhakti, Dhira Tatana Mugati. Komara Yovanam Jara. So look at them, see your father, see your grandfather. They have passed from boy to youth to old age. What are you talking? I'm telling you to change your body for a better life. And you are hesitating. What is intelligence? Can't you think properly? Okay. Yeah, what is your master? This is intelligence. The Buddha said, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. In other words, do what? Change it. Change it. Krishna told Arjuna, change the dress of your father, your grandfather, and your teacher. Change your dress to a new dress. Let them have a better life. When they're young, we can gratify their senses. Isn't it? When they're old, even though you have worked so hard and amassed a lot of wealth, when you get old, and you lose appetite, how much food can you eat? At old age, how much food? How much food can you eat at old age? The teeth are not there, they're all falling. How much food are you going to eat? Arthritis are all there, you cannot walk properly. Arthritis is full of your joint. Joint pains are always the tormenting. Insomnia, you don't sleep well in the night. The result of all our sinful activity, hunting, we can't sleep well in the night. All the anxiety you have given to so many living into the varieties of being, maybe hunting, you cannot sleep in the night. All the money you will struggle to commit so much sin for to accumulate, be sending it for doctors and lawyers and that's all. What will we spend the money for? Doctor. Is it not? Eye doctor, ear doctor, nose doctor, stomach, arthritis, pneumonia, ulcer. That's what we are wasting our time here for. That's all. Nothing more than that. And the children are all around you. The children are all around you. Those who are around you are not around you to give you help. They're around you to see, when is you going to die so I can take this property? Why is it taking you long to die now? Prabhu, go. Then you take this property. Those who are not there, another one is in London, another one is in Japan, another one is in Hong Kong. These are the people you labor so much to carry them for 9 months and suffer with spit, lump, saliva. Vidura, so listen to Vidura. Is what sharp arrows penetrate the heart. To stick to family life to the end of one's human life is the grossest type of degradation. And there is an absolute need for the Viduras to educate. The absolute need for the Viduras to do what? To educate the terrestrials. I only want to educate The Dhritarashtra, all of us, even at the present moment. Even at the present moment. The Dhritarashtra of this time cannot hear Vidura. The Dhritarashtra of 5,000 years ago would hear Vidura. The Dhritarashtra of this age will not hear Vidura. Vidura is trying to open his eyes to see that he cannot live more than his 10 and that he must prepare for death, since death is inevitable. Why should he accept such a humiliating position for living? Why? You know the shame? People you try to kill many times, and today you are living under them. You don't think they can decide to poison you also? Huh? They are the one feeding you. Huh? Yes, they are saintly. That is okay. They are saintly. But their saintliness will not stop you. Their saintliness will help them not to poison you, not to retaliate. But will their saintliness stop you from dying? Their saintliness will not stop you from dying because that one is not in your hand. So Vidura is, we need Viduras. It is better to take the right path, even at the risk of death. Human life is meant for finishing all kinds of miseries for material existence. A life should be so regulated. Proper, you repeat this in many places. Life should be so regulated that one can achieve the desired goal. Another place it said, we should mold our life in such a way that we remain Christian for 24 hours. So he said that, and life should be so regulated that one can achieve the desired goal. This Rasta, due to his wrong conception of life, had already spoiled 80% of his achieved energy. So it behooved him to utilize the remaining days of his miserly life for the ultimate good. Such a life is called miserly because one cannot properly utilize the asset of the human life. Only by good luck does such a miserly man meet a self-realized soul like Dhira. By his instruction, get rid of the conditions of material existence. Verse 26. He is called undisturbed, who goes to an unknown, remote place and freed from all obligations, quit his material body when it has become useless. Dhira. Dhira. Dhira means one who is not disturbed, even when there is sufficient provocation. Dhira. One cannot give up a comfortable family life due to his affectionate relation with wife and children. Self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family. And if anyone is at all able to get such a relation, is called undisturbed or Dhira. This is, however, the part of renunciation based on the frustrated life. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible self-realized, by which one can be engaged in the loving devotional service. Devotional service is not practiced because one is frustrated. Devotional service is practiced by those who are intelligent, those who know the value of life. They can practice Christian consciousness. They can take to Christian consciousness willingly. But in the absence of in absence of the devotional service, yesterday we were speaking about our unnecessary, our frustration of trying to take to karma, take to gyan, take to yoga. It's all due to frustration. Even the part of reaching impersonalism or monism, it is all due to frustration. Bhakti is not that kind of process. Bhakti is not that. So intelligently designed. And I'll give an example of the process of dhyan, the process of yoga, the process of karma. What is it? What is the philosophy? There's so much material desires in the heart. What do I do? Nirvana. Nirvana means what? Just empty everything. That is nirvana. But that is not the meaning of nirvana. Nirvana is different. But that is your understanding. That is why it's the part of frustration. Nirvana. Empty it. If your trash can is full, do what? Empty it. That is due to frustration because we cannot empty desire. We cannot empty the heart of desire because desire is part of the soul. So the joyful process of Krishna consciousness is not just to artificially try to empty the heart. That is too artificial. That is too uproot. You know, that is too harsh. The process of bhakti is to gently, imperceptibly deal with the mind. So in such a way that the mind does not feel, it doesn't revolt. It's too much. When you go to sit on the Himalayas, and the pinching cold winter, and don't eat, the mind will not react. This is too harsh. This is too much. And some of them will die. That is too harsh. The process, and the Papa will one day, Kumambela, one of the Kumambelas, so he was told that one Naga Baba died. Papa said, yes, he should die. So Papa said, yeah, he should die. Why not? He should die. Because that is too harsh now. That is too harsh a process. The Bhakti, and then Krishna know how to perfectly. Bhakti is not perfect. Naturally, there was a job full of you like job with Papa's table. What did you going to do? And Papa took one of it and threw it in now and started to enjoy it. They don't enjoy Gulab Jamun. Jaggi, they don't enjoy Gulab Jamun. They are being dry austerity, harsh austerity. Just to enjoy like this, they don't have access to enjoy. They will go and do this dry process. Say they will die. Why not? Die. Simple process is to engage the mind in practicing bhakti. Don't empty the cup. Don't need to add water to the cup. Yes, because the cup is already full, it is spill over and mess up the place. That is the one-sided effect of understanding. Because if you want to fill a cup which is already full, you don't want it to spill over, what will you do? The same thing. They are doing the same thing. What do you do? If you want to put water in a cup which is already full, you don't want it to spill over, what do you do? What do you do? Give me that one. Yes. Put it inside the bowl and add the water there. It will spill over inside here. It will not mess up this place. You know?
You don't mess up here. Because it's what? It's going to a proper direction. So the water will not go down. If I put this water here, it will go down. It will go to the big bowl, which is bigger than the quantity of water I'm using. That is the process of Bhakti. That is Bhakti. Huh? That is what we are doing in Christian consciousness. We should not add karma again to Bhakti. We should continue to add Bhakti, but don't add karma again. You understand? Don't add any nonsense thing again. Continue to add Bhakti. We are systematically facing out material desires. At the same time, we maintain our spiritual desire. So Prabhupada said, simply to replace it. Don't destroy desire, but purify desire. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. It's not simple. That's why it is not that it's very simple. If it is simple, everybody will participate. But it's not simple, many people cannot participate. So the Dhira say we should become what? Dhira. He is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and miserly of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead, residing within his heart. Yeah? You know, sweet? So Prabhupada said that there are three classes of transcendentalists, three classes of Dhiras. There are three classes of Dhiras. The Dhira, or the one who is not disturbed by being away from family association. That is one. He's not disturbed by being away from family association. That is one Dhira. Another Dhira is one in the renounced order of life, a sannyasi, by a frustrated sentiment. I know that it's mechanical. And the third one is a sincere devotee of the sincere devotee who are working and chanting and lives home beside in his heart. That's all. That is the process of Bhakti. It meant for those who are very sincere and very fortunate, not those who are artificially artificially trying to control the senses due to frustration. Like someone who is practicing, one day a devotee told me, a devotee from Nigeria, he was telling me, Maharaj, you know, we're very austere. I said, no, Prabhu, you're not austere. See the way we are living, I said, Prabhu, you're not austere. We are very austere. I said, no, Prabhu, you're not austere. You're not. Your austerity is starvation. I say your austerity is starvation because you don't have much. If you go to a place where you have more facility, you'll be fat. And that's what happened. When he went to India, I saw his chin was bigger than mine. So I reminded him, I said, Prabhu, see your chin is out. In Nigeria, you told me you're very austere. Your chin is out means what? That austerity? You remember I told him, he kept quiet because I told him. When I told him this, he was offensive. This man is always too harsh like this. But when I reminded him, he kept quiet. He didn't react. He kept quiet. I said, Prabhu, see your chin is out. Before you told me you're very austere. Where's your austerity now? What is it? Your austerity was starvation. It is not austerity. Austerity is different. Austerity is not starvation. But some of us were forced to do some austerity, which is not austerity, it's starvation. Well, at least it's something. There's something because, you know, a baby has to be forced to austere to avoid certain things, right? But a mature person would voluntarily perform austerity. That is purifying. That is wanted. So Christians, Prabhupada has given a detailed explanation. A sincere devotee of the Lord who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting and leaves home depending completely on the personality of Godhead who resides in his heart. That is renunciation. That is sannyasi. The sannyasi first qualification that is that he must be fearless. 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 If you are afraid, oh, I'm going to travel now, what will happen to me on the road? You're not a sannyasi. Sit home. Sit back at home. Should be dependent on Krishna. That is a sannyasi. Depend on Krishna. 28. Please, therefore, leave for the north immediately. Leave immediately without letting your relatives know. For soon that time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of men. It's happening now. It's not happening. One can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a Dhira or leaving home for good without communicating with relatives. And Vidura advised his eldest brother to adopt this way without delay because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching. Now we are inside. Persistently endeavoring on the line of self-realization helps a person to rise to the conditions of the Narottam from the stage of the Dhira. The Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system. But by the grace of Vidura, one can attain the stage immediately simply by willing to adopt the means of the Dhira stage, which is the preparatory stage for sannyas. The sannyas stage is the preparatory stage of Paramahamsa, or the first great devotee of the Lord. That is how we progress. That is how we progress. If one is very fortunate, then you get promotion. If one is not fortunate, then you are frustrated from all the anxiety when you get it from the body and getting from family life, you're frustrated. When you ask your wife, do you need milk or tea? And your wife says, I need tea, not you. Oh, really? Oh, did you remain there? You did that. I don't need you in the house. Yeah, a disturbance to me. I don't want to see your face here. I want tea. Ah, okay. Bye. Take your tea. I'm gone. I'm gone. Never to go back again. But that is very, very good. That is very good because you have left home with frustration. You don't like to go back again. Because when you remember how you lived there, this time if I go there, maybe you want to use hammer on my head. So I better don't go back. Before it was just words. But now, maybe hammer on my head. So I should not go back there. All right. Though Maharaj Dhritarashtra, a son of the family of Ajamida, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, pragya, broke at once the strong network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation, as directed by his younger brother Vidura, Mahatma Vidura Ki. Yes, his instruction is what? A hammer that hit the heart and broke the ties of affection, unnecessary affection. And Prabhupada gave example of himself here. Give example of himself. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great preacher of the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, has stressed the importance of association with sadhus, pure devotees of the Lord. Do you see what the Vidura has done? A formidable, hard-hearted Dhritarashtra Vidura has the power to melt that hard-heartedness. That is a sadhu. A sadhu is known if he can penetrate the excuse me, if he can penetrate the heart of a demon and transform that demonic heart into a devotee, that's a sadhu. A sadhu can melt the heart. Strongly attached to sense gratification, a sadhu can melt it. That is a sadhu. A sadhu does not flatter. So that Bhakti he said, a sycophant cannot be a guru. That's a flatterer. One who flatters cannot be a guru. Just like a quack cannot be a doctor. A doctor who is telling, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Be fine. You're not a doctor. A doctor must what? Tear it open and remove the pus. With tear, it's not painful? Yeah, it's painful for some time. After that, you'll be healthy. Because the necessary thing that the sadhu must penetrate the heart of the audience, destroy the ignorance. The dark ignorance will destroy. But the sharp word of the sadhu. Vidura did that here. That's what Vidura did. He said that even by a moment association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed to admit that this fact was experienced in our practical life. Were we not favored by his divine grace, Sri Mat, Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, by our first meeting for a few minutes only? It would have been impossible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. So, Prabhupada ki, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki, Mahatma Vidura ki, yes. So our Prabhupada went to see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati just once. And he said, go and preach for English-speaking country. How many minutes was that? How many minutes? He said, no, we don't need that now. We need liberation for India from the British hand. But then I said, that is not necessary for now. Christian consciousness cannot wait. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may say, cannot wait for this nonsense, for politics. Cannot wait. It's immediate. It's okay, sir. Why should we be over? Why should we be over? Immediately. Immediately. How many minutes? How many minutes? How many minutes did it take? That is Acharya. Yeah, this is the whole. Without seeing him at that opportune moment, we will have become a very great business magnate, but never will we have been able to walk the path of liberation and be engaged in the factual service of the Lord under instructions of His divine grace. You know? Similarly, the absolute truth, which is compared to the sky, remains eternally, and the temporary cloud-like illusion comes and goes away. Foolish living beings are attracted by the temporary cloud, but intelligent men are more concerned with the eternal sky with all its variegatedness. The gentle and chaste Gandhari. So Vidura told the Sastra, don't tell anybody, just leave now. Don't leave now, don't take anything, just leave now. Just leave. The time, if you don't leave now, any moment from now, Kali will trap you. You will never get a chance to go. Get out now. Don't take anything. Don't carry a cell phone. Don't carry a computer. Don't carry your money. Don't carry anything. Just go. So the Sastra just left without telling, even his wife who was sitting there, Victoria, the wife was hearing, Gandhari was hearing, she was hearing Dhira talking to her husband. She was hearing. And everything was entering into her. As soon as the husband left, the gentle Patim Payantam Subalasya Putri Patibrata Chanu Jagama Sadwi. Sadwi is Gandhari. Gandhari is described as Sadwi. Now, ISKCON devotees now they want to call women Prabhus. ISKCON women should be Prabhus, not in the Bhagavatam. What in the Bhagavatam is Sadvi. Opposite of that is Sadvi, which is for men. This is in the scripture. This is scripture. If you follow this, no speculation. The gentle and chaste Gandhari, who was the daughter of King Subala of Kandahar or Damodara, followed her husband, saying that he was going to the Himalaya mountains. One who goes to the Himalayan mountain is going to come back to the house? No, it's to from there to Swaraga, not back to Griha. It's to Swaraga. Which are the delight of those who have accepted the staff of the renounced order, like fighters. So the Bhagavatam word is so sweet, so sweet. Like those who have accepted the staff of the renounced order, like fighters who have accepted a good lashing from the enemy. Hare Krishna. So nice. The Vaishnava sannyasis are narrow, whereas the Mayavadi sannyasis are Dhiras. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was advised to follow the Dhiras because at that stage it was difficult for him to become narrow. Because his mind is Maharaj Yudhishthira, whose enemy was never come, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifice to the sun god, and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to the Brahmins. He then entered the palace to pay respect to the elderly. However, he could not find his uncles or aunts, a daughter and his uncles, that is, Dhira and Dhritarashtra, and the aunt, Gandhari. He was mortified. Very nice explanation. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the most pious king because he personally practiced daily the pious duties for the householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, and after bathing, they should offer respect to the deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in the sacred fire, by giving the Brahmanas in charity land, cows, grains, gold, etc.
No.
You're not, you see?
Yes.
You're not hearing.
Yes.
That is it. You're not hearing. You're not here. You should be here. Here. And at last, okay, let me help you. Let me help you. The householders are required to rise early in the morning, not afternoon. And after bathing, and after Dating. After rising, the next thing is dating. You know happening today? Yes. You know happening. After bathing, they should offer respect to the deities at home by prayers. How many people have deities in home? How many households have deities? Only Harikrishna devotees. By offering fuel in the sacred fire. By giving brahmanas in charity, land, cows, grains, gold, etc. I understand. And at last, offering to the elderly members due respect and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions prescribed in the Shastra cannot be a good man simply by book knowledge. Modern householders are practiced to to different modes of life, namely to rise late, then take bed tea without any sort of cleanliness and without any purificatory practices as mentioned above. That is our present household. Bed tea. I used to see in a train, in India, in a train, people that are sitting in the bed, they are reading newspaper, not bad, but in newspaper, it's not, they're reading newspaper. Chair, the rice, they will drop the newspaper, give me tea. Right? What is happening now? And also in Africa, those are who will travel. In villages, I will look into the villages. People are just sitting there, doing nothing. There's no chanting, there's no, those things are just sitting there. What are they sitting there? You're waiting to die. No preparation, nothing. Just sitting there. At best, be gossiping. What did one say about you? What did one say to this one? That's what you say. Idle talks. This is what is happening. Modern householders is like this. Very tea. What is the result of that? The household children are taken to practice what the parents practice. What do they practice? Better tea on cleanliness. And therefore, the whole generation glides down to hell. Patanti narke asocha. That's what Bhagavad said. Patanti narke asocha. On cleanliness, on clean activities leading us to hell, not to heaven. Nothing good can be expected from them unless they associate with sadness. You know? Maharaj Yudhishthira, full of anxiety, turned to Sanjaya, who was sitting there and said, "Oh Sanjaya, where is our uncle who is old and blind? Where is my well-wisher, Uncle Vidura, and Mother Gandhari, who is very afflicted due to all her sons' demise? My uncle Dhira was also very mortified due to the death of all his sons and grandsons. Undoubtedly, I am very ungrateful. Did he, therefore, take my offense very seriously and, along with his wife, drown himself in the Ganga? Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking like this because he's a devotee. He's a devotee. So he's thinking like this. So Prabhupada appreciated that. He said that also here. As a pious man, as a devotee, Maharaj Yudhishthira took into account all his unavoidable deeds, and he never thought of the misdeed of his uncle. He didn't remember all the nonsense things Mr. Rastra did to him. He only remember the one he did. Oh, I killed all the sons and grandsons of Mr. Rastra and my aunt. So they have taken it seriously, and they have gone to drown themselves in Ganga, what is happening is asking is Sanjaya. Sanjaya also was mortified. When my father Pandu fell down and we were all small children, these two uncles gave us protection from all kinds of calamities. They were always our good well-wishers. Alas, where have they gone from here? It's a first time in history. In the history of Sanjaya and the Srasa relationship, his secretary, who guided him for everything, he didn't consult with him. That is the potency of the sadhu. Yes, the potency of the sadhu. So also, Sanjaya was shocked that even me, he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me anything. Of all people, me, he did not tell me. That is the potency of the sadhu. The sadhu's word is so direct, it's so clean, it's so powerful. To clean all damnations and bring the naked truth. And to reveal everything to us, just like a bright sun, to reveal everything. Everything will be revealed. Sutta Vacha Kripaya Sneha Vai Klavyat Sutto Viraha Karisita Atmeshwaram Achaksanu Apatya Hatipi Itam. Sutta Goswami said, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master, Dhritarashtra, was aggrieved and could not properly reply to Maharaj. That means when Dhira was asking the question, Yudhishthira was asking him the question, he remained silent for a while. He remained silent for a while. Where's he contemplating? What did I do? Okay, Dhira has his own, Yudhishthira has his own side. Okay, I killed his sons and his grandsons. So he left me without telling me anything. Both of me, what did I do to him? Yeah? What did I do to him? Being the most closest person, even more than his wife. Yeah? What did I do to him that he did not even say a word to me? He didn't even tell me bye-bye. Is it not? So someone traveling without telling you bye is terrible thing. It means the person hates you, don't have good relation. I should say that I don't have anything to do with you. Why should I tell you my journey? You're not my favorite. What should I tell you? So Sanjaya also was. Unless one is convinced of a better life after the realization of the present life, one cannot stick to the renounced order of life simply by outside dress of staying out of the home. First, he slowly pacified his mind after searching himself carefully by intelligence. Did I commit an offense? Did I offend him somewhere? What did I do to him? And wiping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master, Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. 37. Sanjaya uvacha aham vidavya sitam pitro vakula nandana gandarya va mahabaho mushitosmi mahatmadi. Sanjaya said, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. I have rendered service to him the whole of my life. Now that he found a better solution to that, he did not share with me. He didn't share with me. He just left me like this. Without any no remuneration for all that I have done. Oh, I've wasted my time serving a miser. But he didn't say that. We will say like that. We will say that. Oh, I've served a wicked miser. But Sanjay didn't say that. He only appreciated that he didn't tell him. Because if you tell, they're going to give advice. Oh, you don't have to go. Oh, you don't worry. This time Mahara will be very disturbed and he cared for you so much. You're not even worried about what has happened. He is very, very careful about you. Don't go. If you go, you disturb so many people. Don't do this. All this advice, you overwhelm me. When Chitama we're going to take sannyas. Oh. Do you want to destroy your devotees? Devotees, they are giving you their lives. So you want to destroy their life. If you know the consequences of taking sannyas, they are going to leave them, they will not see a lotus face again. Do you think they will live, they will survive? It's not better I just kill them before you go. You know what I want? Do you know what I talk about? What about their old mother, whose existence is because of you? She's a lotus face that compensated her for the loss of her 9 children, both dead. One son, which has already gone. The husband is always gone. There's nothing left for her to stay. It's only you, just because of you. So you're taking her name means what? You want to kill her, isn't it what? You know the consequence of killing a woman, not just even a woman, your own mother. How will you feel? Sorry, talking this philosophy. How will you feel? Yeah. The mind will start to go round to consider, start to digest all this and then find some philosophy to drag it down. So yes, to make you it is dangerous to do this. Don't kill people who depend on you. Don't kill people who depend on you. So you cannot preach Krishna consciousness from us. You cannot preach Krishna consciousness from us. That you will take sannyas. Householder cannot preach Krishna consciousness. It's only when you take sannyas. What is the necessity of it? You cannot serve Krishna in the house. You want to tell me that only sannyasis can serve Krishna? Householder cannot serve Krishna. What is this? What is this? Don't kill the people who depend on you. They have really given you their life. Don't destroy their lives. Good philosophy. So Sanjaya said, yes, they cheated me. They cheated me. So Prabhupada agreed. Grace, that a great soul cheat others may be astonishing to know, but it is a fact that great soul cheat others for a great cause. For a great cause. A sadhu is a cheater? Who will believe that? Is that religious? Is that religious to be a cheat? Is that religious? To be a cheat? A cheater is a religious person? No. The Prabhupada said, yes, may be astonishing to know. They should cheat others with great God. It is said that Lord Krishna also advised Yudhishthira to tell a lie before Dronacharya. And it was also for a great cause. Satisfaction of the Lord is a criterion of one who is bona fide. And the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Lord by one's occupational duty. Hari Tosha. Hari Tosha. Samsudi. Hari Tosha. Yes. Sanatana Goswami also cheated the keeper of the prison house, while going away to see Sita Mahaprabhu. You know? And similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami also cheated his priest and left home for good to satisfy the Lord. To satisfy the Lord, anything is good. It is in relation to the absolute truth. We also had the same opportunity to cheat the family members and leave home to engage in the service of Srimad Bhagavatam. So cheating was necessary for a great cause, and there is no loss of any party in such transcendental fraud. It is a transcendental fraud. Sanatana Goswami gave bribe to a jail keeper, so he could go and practice Krishna consciousness. So if he did not come and practice Krishna consciousness and preach seriously and wrote so many books, what would we do to him? Who will know about Krishna? If he did not leave his opulent family life and take to renunciation, and he did not go and excavate the Radha Kund. Radha Kund. So Raghunath Goswami did that. So if he didn't do it and remain in the house, what will you do today? Without Radha Kund, how would our Bhakti be? So they cheated for a good cause. Not that. So not cheating. Why not cheating? Because cheating means what? Cheating means I'm doing something which will destroy you. So taking into Krishna consciousness to purify our life, is that cheating? Yeah. That's what prophecy translates for. They made a sacrifice to help us become devotees. If they didn't make the sacrifice, the prophet did not leave his home, abandon the family, and come to preach Krishna consciousness. What would happen to the world today? If you remove Krishna consciousness from the world will happen to this? See? So is that wrong? That Prabhupada did that? Is that wrong? He did something for our benefit. If he did that for his own self, okay, live in India, India very poor, live in India, go to America, bring big dollars, come and expand their single education. That is cheating. That would be cheating. It did something to help the whole world to become Christian conscious. We're in darkness. We are in darkness, complete day's darkness. And Prabhupada brought the light. Prabhupada brought the light. Bhagavatam is the light. Is it true? Bhagavatam is the light?
Yes.
How can you confirm that? How can you confirm that? Tell me. How you can? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can we make some clarification before we leave?
Krishna Swadamu Pagati Dharma Ganabi Adibi Saha Kalo Nasa Desalesa Purana Arka Aduna Udita. Aduna Udita. Purana Arka. Bhagavatam means a bright midday sun. Huh? Hello, Nasa Swami, for those of us who are in dense darkness of Kali. This is Purana Arka. This is the light. This is the light to see the dense Kali. The dense Kali, dense darkness. To see is Bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam Purana, Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. And it has arisen, Aduna Mudita. As Krishna is ascending, Bhagavatam is descended. Aduna Mudita. And it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode. Krishna Swadhama Upagate. Dharma Upagate. Krishna went back to his abode. What did he do? Jnana. Dharma, Jnana Adibisaha. Krishna, as Krishna was going, he carried knowledge, he also carried religion. So what will happen here? Dense darkness. Bhagavatam descended as the light. Accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from his Bhagavatam. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakre Bhagavan Rishi Nishaya Saha Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. So what happened as Sanjay was speaking? What happened? Sanjay was speaking to Yudhishthira. He's speaking to Yudhishthira. Your uncles cheated me. They didn't tell me anything. While Sanjay was speaking, Atajagama Bhagavan Narada Saha Tumburu Rachutaya Dikada Jyan Sanujodya Yarachayan Muni. While Sanjay was just speaking, Sri Narada, the powerful devotee of the Lord, appeared on the scene, carrying his tumburu. Maharaj Yudhishthira and his brothers received him properly by getting up from their seats and offering obeisances. Yudhishthira Maharaj was very happy. You see, providence, this is what you call by providence. It is providence. Yudhishthira Maharaj was in anxiety, and he is asking Sanjaya for a solution, no solution. What next? Without delay, Lord Krishna sent Ramuni, go and take care of my devotee. This is providence. Providence is very good. Providence always makes us fortunate. And Prabhupada made us fortunate. How many people in this world know Prabhupada before now? He came on his own to give us Krishna consciousness. We pay his ticket. We know who he was. Nothing. He just appeared from nowhere and gave us Krishna consciousness. This is fortune. Prabhupada calls our fortune. Is it not? It calls our fortune. In the middle of a dense sky, Prabhupada just enter inside. Who they're looking for? Take Krishna. That's what they're looking for. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very, very, very happy. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, "Oh, godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone, nor can I find my ascetic aunt, who is grief-stricken by the loss of all her sons. You are like a captain of a ship, Damodara. Iva pare. Damodara. Iva pare. Bhagavan para dashaka. Atabha va se Bhagavan. Narado mundi satama. You are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Those distress, those address a godly personality, they were Narada, greatest of the philosopher devotees, began to speak. Unless one has become a sufficiently learned philosopher, by hearing the Vedanta philosophy from a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot become a learned philosopher. One must be very faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. A pure devotee of the Lord can give us direction towards the other end of nations. Devotee Narada used to visit the palace of Maharaj Yudhishthira because the Pandavas were all pure devotees of the Lord. And the devotee was always ready to give them good counsel whenever needed. Narada Uvacha Makan Kanchana Sukurajan Jadi Swara Vasam Jagat Kasapalaja Sime Bahanti Balinchi Situ Sasanyu Nati Sasanyu Nakti Putani Saiba Diyunatika. Sri Narada said, O pious kings, do not lament for anyone. Do not lament for anyone. For everyone is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all living beings and their leaders carry on worship to be well protected. It is He only who brings them together and disperses them. How do we understand this? The Muni said, do not lament for anyone, for everyone is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all living beings and their leaders carry on worship to be well protected. It is He only who brings them together and disperses them. But this is my question. Question, don't worry. This is my question. As the Muni said, don't lament for anyone. Don't lament for anyone. So, the Sushama leaves the planet. What will you do? No cry? No cry. You cry? Why? That's lamentation. The Modi said, don't lament for anyone. Do not lament for anyone, the Modi said. And you're going to give more reasons why we should not lament. You're going to give more reasons. So Yeshua Master leaves the planet. No cry? A lamentation. A lamentation, they're going against the scripture. Eh? So no lamentation. No cry. Eh? Will not cry. Just follow his instruction. Did you get my questions? My question? Do you understand my question? If you get my question, please give me answer also. Give me answer. I need answer to my question. Kamala Saku, did you cry? Yes, Prabhu, tell me. When Gurudev left, did you cry? You said, Jaya, Jaya, Gurudeva, 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 Jaya, Gurudeva.
Maharaj, all glory to you, Maharaj. It's natural to cry, Maharaj.
Now the Muni said, don't cry for anybody.
Maharaj, all glory to you. It's natural to cry.
No cry.
It is natural to cry, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. Why you cry?
Oh, then
Yes,
you have
Maharaj,
gone against
cry,
the Muni
Maharaj.
social. You have gone against. He said, don't cry. You are violating the scriptural injunction. This is what the scripture said. It's boldly written here. You have gone against the scripture, Prabhu. Yes. So, what did you? It is also in the scripture that wants to cry. It is in the scripture that wants to cry. Sri Mahaprabhu cried when Jagannath Mishra left. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, he cried. Lord Ramachandra cried when that's when he cried. Krishna cried, not even when his father was temporarily, artificially killed, Krishna cried, oh, my father. Krishna did. In Dwaraka, when the Salva was fighting with Krishna. And Salva created artificial Vasudeva and Devaki and brought them to the battlefield before Krishna and slaughtered them. Krishna said, oh my, I can't believe I'm dead. What happened? So Salva killed my brother also. That is able to, for him to bring my parent, it means he has killed. A moment. So once you cry, if actually you have appreciation, you have feelings, you have appreciation, you have feelings, you have love, the scripture recommends that once you cry. There is a difference between lamentation and cry. It's different between lamentation and crying. Oh, my father left. Oh, my life is useless. There's nothing I can do again. Oh, my father. Oh, can you see my father? Oh, my father. How can God do this? Oh, it's useless. That's lamentation. It doesn't bring any good. Doesn't bring any good. Okay. I'll get also say the truth. I want to know laments. But it doesn't mean I want to not have feelings. To have feelings. When the Chaitanya wife left before he returned from Bangladesh, Chaitanya, when he was told, he was silent for a long time. Was silent. He felt it for some time, then he came out and started to speak the same philosophy. Before he spoke philosophy to his mother, he lamented. As he felt it, he cried. Oh, the feelings will be there. It doesn't mean that you are spiritual. You are spiritual, therefore, I should not have feeling for you. That is not scriptural. That is not purity. Once you feel, you should have the feeling. You should feel that. That is not lamentation. It should be done. I want lament to become useless, can't function, can't do anything. That is lamentation. It is ignorance. It's ignorance. So this should be understood. Yes. Ordinarily, one cannot change the course of one's due happiness and distress by plan. So I lost my car. Oh, lamentation, so miserable, so frustrated, so disgusted with the whole thing. My too expensive car. Can I lose this car? What the hell? Collapse on the ground. That's lamentation. It is ignorance. Yes. That's ignorance. Because you're not going to change anything. So what you use of lamentation? Everyone has to accept them as they come under the subtle arrangement of Allah or invisible time. Invisible time. There's no use trying to counteract them. The best thing is, therefore, that one should endeavor to achieve salvation. And this prerogative and this prerogative is given only to man because of his developed Vedic wisdom for attainment of salvation during the human form of existence. One who misuses this opportunity of advanced intelligence is verily condemned and put into different types of miseries, either in this present life or in the future. That is the way the supreme controls. And that is the way the Supreme controls everyone and everything. And the money continue to give a reason why we should not lament. As a cow bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. Yes. The factual position of the living being is, however, that he is the eternal servitor of the Supreme. In a liberated state, he renders service to the Lord in transcendental love and thus enjoys a life of full freedom, even sometimes on an equal level with the Lord. Or sometimes more than the Lord, but in the condition material of the living beings. And thus, by the mission of Maya, this mentality of loving it over becomes a cause of extension of condition that life. So in the material world, the living being is still more condition until he surrenders under the Lord by reviving his original state of eternal relationship. That is the last instruction of the Dhira.
Hare Krishna, please let us all be patient a little bit. It appears Maharaj network went offline. Maharaj is offline, so I think it's network. So we just wait a little bit for him to come back. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear me? Chaitanya Prema Prabhu wants to speak with us. So, Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, please kindly go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear Bhakti Vaibhava students. I want to remind you that tomorrow is your exams for Unit 3. Tomorrow is your exams for Unit 3. And by next weekend, next week Sunday, it will be exams for Unit 4. Generally, it's not good for anything to overlap. So now that it has overlapped, please, we are doing exams for Unit 3 tomorrow and Unit 4 next week Sunday. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome back, Maharaj. You can unmute now, Maharaj.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
Disconnection. All right, thank you. Yes. So we continue. O King, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle, or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit. Feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. If you remember, Krishna was speaking Karma Mimamsa philosophy of his father. Does that mean Krishna approved that philosophy? He spoke it because Krishna has something in his mind. And as an experienced teacher knows how to present their philosophy in such a way that even those who don't believe, their heart will melt. Their heart will melt. So Dharamuni is speaking this philosophy, like he did also as an experienced teacher. He did to Prachina Bhakti. Dharamuni didn't give him a philosophy I'm not the body. He didn't teach him I'm not the body. Dharamuni was telling him stories about a very powerful king. And that king is himself. He was telling about so many powerful Puranjana. The Puranjana is the Prachina Bhakti. So he was listening. I see. Yes. Then. By the time he finished his story, Puranjana was able to realize that Prachina Bhakti Masad Mahara was able to realize that it is me who is the one he's talking about. He's an experienced teacher. So the same thing he's doing here, he's speaking this philosophy, like Krishna also spoke about it. Krishna telling Arjuna, even if you think the body is perishable, still you fight. Or if the soul can be killed. It's okay, you should still do your duty. Whatever you think, you should do your duty. Because ultimately, what is eternal will not be destroyed. What is temporal cannot be maintained. That's the ultimate. So he's speaking this special. Prabhupada said, in our daily experience, we find so many transformations of matter from one form to another. But we do not lament such changing futures. In either of the both cases, the force of divine energy is uncheckable. No one has any hand in it. And thus, there is no cause of grief. No need to lament because something which we cannot help. If you're in a situation where we cannot change the situation, what to do? Yes, you accept it. Accept it. You kill the person, you're a murderer. Right? If you kill yourself, what's people will condemn you? Or why did you do this nonsense? So, accept it as something that I should go through for this time. That's how life should be. So Naramundi continued. Therefore, give up your anxiety due to ignorance of the self. You are now thinking of how they, who are helpless poor creatures, will exist without you. Some years ago, there was a devotee. He was coming to the temple in Benin City during early days. So we were friends. Also, we were talking to him how to become a devotee. So he started to practice. He was practicing. After some time, I saw he was not steady. So I asked him, my friend, what is the problem? Why you should renounce? So my mother, I have to take care of my mother. So I cannot do this. Otherwise, I can come I can be coming to practice, but I have to take care of my mother. That's okay. But you should be coming to temple to practice. And then that's why we were doing traveling hard enough. We were doing traveling hard enough from Ibadan to Abeokuta to Benin to Warri, like that. And then we'll come back. So We didn't see after a year. So when we traveled again in Bini, I met him. I said, "Ah, my friend, yeah, very nice to see you. So, how you doing now?" He said, "Oh, my friend, see, I have no job." I said, "How long now?" He said, the whole year and I have no job." I said, "How is your mother? Your mother is dead?" He said, "No, my mother is still there." So you are not taking to Christian council because of your mother, and the whole year you don't have money to take care of. You have no job to take care of. Who is taking care of him? For the whole year she's not there. You're not feeding her. You're not doing anything. Who is taking care of her? Eh? This is our ignorance. This is our illusion. It's our mistake. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is a pure devotee. So Narada is using him to preach to us. So we are thinking we are the doer, we are the maintainer. We are not the maintainer. But this also does not imply that we should become irresponsible. It doesn't mean we should become irresponsible. Yeah, Prabhu, can you clean it? I'm not the doer. Yeah, how can I clean it? I'm not the doer. Krishna is the doer. So if I don't clean here, it doesn't matter. I'm not the doer. Am I the doer? Yeah? That is misrepresentation of our philosophy. That is not what Narada is teaching. That is not what we should do. What we're supposed to do. Once in Hari Sori Prabhu, yeah, Hari Sori Prabhu. He was also one of the secretaries of Prabhupada. So one day he met Prabhupada and said, "Prabhupada, I'm not going Sankirtan again." So Prabhupada said, "What? I'm not the doer." Krishna is the doer. So if Krishna want people to come to temple, you send them. Do I need to go Sankirtan every day and go disturbing people? Prabhupada should not disturb people who are engrossed in Sankirtan. Right? In Gita, chapter 3. You should not discourage people in engrossing. I will go to Sankirtan. You need to go and discourage people who are engaged in Sankirtan. When Krishna want, you bring people to the temple. So they don't need to disturb people. I'm not the doer. So Prabhupada was told, "I'm not going to cook for you because I'm not the doer." So a pure devotee doesn't depend on anything, it's carefree, like Krishna. Krishna doesn't depend on anything. Krishna is fully independent. The pure devotees are also independent. So I'm not the doer. I'm not going to cook for you. Don't expect now. So Prabhupada told him that is not the meaning. That's not the meaning of I'm not the. We have to do everything we need to do, but our mentality of being the honor should not be there. That should not be there. I am the doer here. If I leave the body, the whole of this body is going to close, and that is ignorance. If I stop coming to the temple, the movement is going to close, and that is ignorance. Everything will continue because we are not the doer. The doer is the supreme personality. It's taking care. So we have been engaged in doing something for our own purification, not for Guru, not for Krishna, but for our own purification. That is the understanding. Whatever we do here is for our own good. And I give an example many times. Many times I give this example. My Guru said, "Yes, you're going to cook 1,008 preparations." You know? 1,000. How many will you eat? How many? Yeah, cooking 1,008 preparations. All delicious. What the best of your strength, with all your love. But how many are you going to eat? So the remaining 1,000. Who will take away 1,000? You take only 8. What are the remaining 1,000? Eh? That is for us. So Guru are useless to cook for ourselves, to help us. Because if you don't do that saving, what are you going to do? You're going to serve Maya. You're going to serve Maya. If you don't serve Krishna, you're going to serve Maya. So Krishna and his representatives, they are very intelligent. They use us to do something for ourselves. And we're being glorified for that. Oh, she did what he does, wonderful service. So if you don't do the service, what will you be doing? You will serve Maya outside. There's no alternative to that. You're going to serve Maya and suffer. So the idea that, oh, I'm doing devotional service, we are not doing devotional service. We are simply preparing ourselves. So we should understand this so we can do what we're doing with gratitude. Otherwise, we're not going to be grateful for what Krishna is doing. Now the Muni continues. This gross material body made of 5 elements is already under the control of eternal time, kala, action, karma, and the mode of material nature, guna. How then can it, being already in the jaws of serpent, protect others? Perfect philosophy. Is it not?
Yes.
The only thing possible to be done is to get rid of eternal time, kala, which is compared to kala sarpa, or the cobra snake, whose bite is always lethal. No one can be saved from the bite of the cobra. The best remedy for getting out of the clutches of the cobra like kala, or eating integrity, the mode of nature, is Bhakti Yoga, as it is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 14:26. The highest professional stage of philanthropic activities is to engage everyone in the act of preaching Bhakti Yoga all over the world, because that alone can save the people from the control of Maya, or the material nature represented by Kala, Karma, and Guna, as described above. The Bhagavad Gita 14:26 confirms this definitely. Yes, this is the understanding of Rantidev. Rantidev Maharaj is glorified and Parikshit is compared to him, because in Rantidev's kingdom, in his kingdom, he engaged everyone in Krishna consciousness, even the animals in Krishna consciousness. He never considered that all of us are Krishna, but you know that we are all Krishna part and parcel. And his duty as a king is to help us be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Other than that, anything else we do is illusion. That's illusion. Those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong. And the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Did you get that? One living being is food for another. So, Prabhus, if this is your philosophy, I accept your philosophy. Why you don't want me to eat meat? Because they are food for me. I'm superior to them. So why should I not eat meat? The weak are what? They're subsistence for the strong. So I'm strong, more than an animal. So I should kill animal and eat. Why do you stop me from that? Why should I not eat? Because I'm stronger than animals, I can kill them and eat. Because what? The general rule was that one living being is food for another. Why you stop me from eating meat? Huh? Why? Tell me. Why should I not eat meat? Oh, philosophy. Okay. Thank you very much. That is great. Yes. That's very good. Let me hear from you. Did you get my question? We are at text 47. Did you get my question? This, Did you get my questions? Dear devotees. No answer?
Dear devotees, please kindly raise your hand indicating your readiness to answer question, please.
We are giving Sunday lecture tomorrow. We are speaking on this verse tomorrow. And one of your students raised a hand. Oh, Prabhu, why are you stopping from eating meat? I'm authorized here. What is written here? Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj is offline. I think his network also took him off the line. So just let's wait a little bit again for him to come back.
Why always the same thing? They have to take a long time to see that. All right. That's Prabhu. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much. I think in the ordinary course, that is the natural arrangement in the creation. But when one is in Krishna consciousness, then he is refining himself from an ordinary being into a special being. So ordinarily, it is allowed for each one living entity to subsist on the other. But when one becomes Krishna conscious, then he must live by higher prescriptions.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. I thought there were two people. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Any other contribution? If I ask you this question in the class tomorrow, yeah, Sunday, what will you do? Yeah, no problem.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
First of all, if we even have to look at it from other religious scriptures, like in the Quran, it is mentioned that in Surah Al-Samson that there are two ways to advance. One way is to advance upward, and the other way is to advance downward. Those who want to advance upward, they should not eat meat, they should not eat animals. And those who want to advance downward, they can take animals. So actually, the animal eating is not for those who are on the path of transcendence. It's for people who are controlled by lower modes. So for devotees who are ready to make steady progress in Krishna consciousness, meat eating will not allow them to develop one of the godly quality required, which is compassion. And a person who is not compassion cannot see equality and see God in every living entity. So first, to be able to develop that principle of compassion, one must willingly and happily give up meat eating. And to allow better progress in spirituality also, one must give up meat eating.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So Prabhupada explained that. A human being is meant for self-realization, and for that purpose, he is not to eat anything which is not first offered to the Lord, like meat. So Krishna did request for that. So we don't have that. Yes, Chaitanya Prema.
Oh, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. I saw your hand up.
It's mistake. Before I was raising hands, so that I wanted to suggest to Salika Prabhu that it's better to allow that block, to remove that blockage, so that if along the line there's any need for some sharp comment or contribution, they can easily do it. But it takes too long a time for him to remove the blockage for students to talk. So I wanted to suggest that before. That was why I was raising hand. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that it because many times also when it is open, so many people they leave their this thing, and then they'll make a lot of noise. That is why it is safer to keep it like that. But the thing, you should be conscious of that. That is the only thing. To myself, everything is good here, but
yes. Even when Maharaj want to come back, it takes long time.
Yes.
So it has its advantages and disadvantages. So anyway, no problem. It's part of it.
You have to manage it like that.
Whatever is best, you carry on. You are in charge.
Yes. Okay, so we are looking at this very technical statement by Narada Muni. It's not being misunderstood. This principle is general and particularly referred to the animal species, not for human beings who have a higher responsibility. The Prophet mentioned. The human being is meant for self-realization, and for that purpose, he is not to eat anything which is not first offered to the Lord. The Lord has saved from his devotee all kinds of food preparation made of vegetable, fruit, leaves, and grains. fruits, leaves, and milk in different varieties can be offered to the Lord. And after the Lord accepts the foodstuff, the devotee can partake of that prasadam, like which all suffering in the struggle for existence will be gradually mitigated. Therefore, a spiritual regulative principle, however, do not allow a man to slaughter weaker animals on one side and teach others peaceful coexistence. It's wrong. If man does not allow the animals to peaceful coexistence, how can he expect a peaceful coexistence in human society? The blind leaders must therefore understand the Supreme Being and then try to implement the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God, or Ram Rajya, is impossible without awakening of God consciousness in a mass mind of the people of the world. So yes, for human beings, this that we supposed to go for something higher. That certain things, there are certain laws we don't have to follow, even though it's a normal thing. We don't have to follow. We have to follow the principle which will give us opportunity to get out of the material world altogether. Therefore, we don't have right to eat. Animals, they have the right. Animals, they have like, our intestine is not the same size with that of animals. Animals' intestine is very short and full of acidity. Our intestine is very long and less acid. So naturally it's meant for vegetables and grains, not for flesh. And that is why you don't see a tiger or cat cooking their meat before eating. Only human beings cook that. Why? Because it's not natural for us. It's not natural for us to eat that. So we have to try to put it in a way that it will be close for us to eat. And after eating that, we still have a lot of problems because it's not natural. Therefore, we are not authorized to eat meat. So, let us continue. Therefore, O King, you should look to the Supreme Lord only, who is one without a second, and who manifests himself by different energies in both within and without. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, in the guise of all devouring time, Kala Rupa, has now descended on earth to eliminate the envious from the world. Krishna has come to eliminate the envious. Who are the envious? Who are the envious that Krishna has come to eliminate? There are two classes of human beings, namely the envious that Krishna has to eliminate and the obedient. The envious are the demons. The obedient are the devotees. So I don't consider someone to be a devotee whose activity is impeding the progress of the movement. I don't consider the person to be a devotee. I consider the person to be envious. A person, even if he's in the devotional environment, his activities is obstructing the progress of the movement. I don't consider that person to be a devotee. Therefore, I pray Christians will eliminate. I pray for that. Any person whose activity is not supporting Christian consciousness is antagonistic to Christian consciousness. Like Mr. N. Mr. N was very envious of Krishna, very envious of devotees of Krishna. So anyone who is manifesting physical envy, destructive envy, to destroy devotees, to destroy devotional practices, always angry with devotees who are trying to make advancement in Krishna. How is that a devotee? Someone is not happy to see a devotee making advancement. Any devotee trying to do what is very angry, that's demonic. That's demonic. See, the Supreme Lord is one and the Father of all living beings. The angels living beings are also his sons, but they are known as Asuras, or demons. For the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called Devatas, or demigods, because they are not contaminated by the natural conception of man. His designation as Kala in disguise is significant. He is not at all dangerous, but he is a transcendent form of eternity, knowledge, and peace. For the devotees, his factual form is disclosed, and for the non-devotee, he appears like Kala Rupa, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras, and therefore they think of the Lord as formless, in order to feel secure that they will not be vanquished by the Lord. But still, they will be vanquished. Yes, you cannot avoid it. The Lord has already performed his duties to help the demigods and is awaiting the rest. You Pandavas may wait as long as the Lord is here on earth. Now the money is prophesying. He's prophesying. The battle of Kurukshetra has been done already. So Krishna is waiting for the next. What is the next one? What's the next? What is the next? That has been done. Israel is already on throne. That's already done. Before his departure? Yadavas has to go. Yes. Due to the growth of the Asuras, the mass of people who are generally devoted to the Lord by nature and the pure duties of the Lord, including the demigods and higher planets, pray to the Lord for relief. And the Lord either the same personally is about or they put some of the devotees to remodel the fallen condition of human society, or even animal society. Yes. Now he was awaiting the annihilation of his own dynasty called the Yaduvans, who appeared by his will in this world. He wanted to take them away before his own departure, right? So he is eternal abode. Narada, like Vidura, did not disclose the imminent annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, but indirectly gave a hint to the king and his brothers to wait until the incident happened. And then the Lord departed. And the Lord departed. O king, your uncle Dhritarashtra, his brother Vidura, and his wife Gandhari have gone to the southern side of the Himalaya mountains, where there are shelters of the great sages. The place is called Sapta Srota. Sapta Srota. Sapta means 7, divided by 7. Because there, the waters of the sacred Ganges were divided into 7 branches. This was done for the satisfaction of the 7 great sages. Therefore, the place became known as Sapta Srota. Sapta Srota. 7 sages. So each one has one. On the banks of Sapta Srota, this Dhritarashtra is now engaged in beginning Asanga Yoga by bathing 3 times daily, in the morning, noon, and evening, by performing the Agnihotra sacrifice with fire and by drinking only water. This helps one control the mind and the senses and frees one completely from thought of familial affection. See, this is technology. Want to control the senses? Bathe 3 times a day, chant Hare Krishna, and drink only water. Hare Krishna. See, Narada Day was just foretelling the way of his spiritual progress in a place which was sanctified by the flow of the celestial Ganges. Drinking water only, without solid food, is also considered fasting. This is necessary for advancement of spiritual knowledge. A bogi or the merry man who eats and drinks cannot be a yogi. A yogi is never allowed to eat and drink unrestrictedly. We may note with profit how Dhritarashtra began his yoga system by drinking water only and sitting calmly in a place without spiritual atmosphere, deeply absorbed in the thought of the Lord, Hari, the personality of God. This is Krishna consciousness. This is meditation. One who has controlled the sitting postures, the yogic asanas, and the breathing process can turn the senses towards the absolute personality of God, and thus become immune to the contaminations of the moods of material nature, namely mundane goodness, mundane passion, and mundane ignorance. That is a way to control. Passion and ignorance increases the material propensities of hankering for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provokes the accumulation of wealth and power. One who has conquered these two base mentalities and has raised himself to the platform of goodness, which is full of knowledge and morality, cannot also control the senses, namely the eyes, the tongue, and the nose, the ear, and the touch. This Rasta will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into the Supreme Being with knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with the Supreme Brahman. Being free from the blockage sky, he will have to rise to the spiritual sky. A pure devotee of the Lord does not live on any planet or the material sky, nor does he feel any contact with the material elements. His so-called material body does not exist, being so charged with the spiritual current of the Lord's identical interest. And thus he is permanently freed from all contaminations, but the sum total of the matter. He is always in the spiritual sky, which he attains by being transcendental to the sevenfold natural covenants by the effect of the devotional self. The conditioned souls are within the covenants, whereas the liberated soul is far beyond the covenant. Now the money continues. He will have to suspend all the actions of the senses, even from the outside, and will have to be impervious to interactions of the senses, which are influenced by the modes of material nature. After renouncing all material duties, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. O king, he will quit his body, most probably on the 5th day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. This is very powerful. In other words, the movie is telling Vishwa Maharaj, don't waste our time to go and look for it. Because from here to that place where he is, if you start to go there now, you will leave before you get. And even don't think that okay, the needs to go and take the body. If you go there, also you're not going to see the body because you don't go when the body. So don't waste your time. This is what the body is. So don't waste your time. While outside observing our husband, who will burn in a fire of mystic power, along with his past profit. His chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. A chaste wife like Damodara will feel the separation of our husband to be more burning than actual fire. Such a lady can observe the sati right voluntarily, and there is no criminal force like anyone. When the right became a formality only, and force was applied upon a lady to follow the principle, actually it became criminal. And therefore the ceremony was to be stopped at the stage. This prophecy of Narada Muni to Bangladesh that forbidden to go to these widowed homes. Don't waste your time. Before you get there, your uncle has entered and burned himself to ashes. And the wife will also enter the fire. So don't waste your time to go. The Dhira being affected with delight and grief. The Dhira is affected by delight and grief. We then leave that place of sacred witness. The Dhira is happy that the brother has attained higher rank. He is grief-stricken because of that affection. See, we have discussed this. The feeling is there. I give you another example. In Nigeria, in Wari, those days, a decent man, he's a responsible man. One of his children became an angler. He discovered that. He went to the police. He went to the police. He reported. The police never caught him yet, but he went to the court. So they got the boy arrested, and the father told them to kill the boy. He ordered them to kill the boy. For a decent person, that's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. We're talking about name, right? Responsible people, they prefer the name than wealth. So they will not go for ill-gotten money. They would never go to. They prefer the name that is a righteous person who stood for good, to do something good. They prefer that because that follows one. That is the only thing the person will take the thing or whatever herself when we leave this body. Everything we're going to give it. The only good thing or the bad thing we did, we're going to take. So responsible people, they will go for their name. They go for what is going to preserve the history that people will follow. Not the nonsense, other things. The property, who will remember? When a children sold their property, who will remember? But their name will remember. But this person did this, this person did this. So intelligent people go for that. So this man, he is like that. He ordered the police to arrest the boy, and when he was arrested, they killed him. They killed the boy. He felt bad. Oh, my son. You see? So there is grief And also satisfaction here because that shame is removed from the family. So he's happy. But because he's his son, so he felt it. So he felt bad, he cried. What he did, it is perfect. This day you don't find people. The more criminal you have, the better. Because it means you get them, but the money you're not even getting. You're not even getting it. So you just punish me. While outside observing her husband, who will burn in a fire of mystic power along with his thatched cottage. His chase wife will enter a fire with rapid.
Hare Krishna.
Dhira,
Can you hear me?
Dhira, being affected, light, I'm coming, and grief, then will leave that place of sacred pilgrimage. Having spoken thus, the great said Narada, along with his dinner, has taken into of outer space. Yudhishthira kept his instruction in his heart, and so was able to get rid of all limitations. Bhakti. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Chitan Pima wants to speak, but I was just going to remind that it's about 5 minutes to Bhakti Sastri.
Yes, I am aware. I want to stop here. I'll finish.
Thank you.
Let's
Okay.
Chitan Prema Prabhu, we're waiting for you before we.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat pranams. Yes, I want to thank you very much on behalf of the students and on behalf of the Bhaktivedanta Institute, Bhaktivedanta Academy for Culture and Education, for the sacrifice, and for the time, despite your busy schedule. And it gives us a lot of strength and motivation that you sacrifice to be with us for all these minutes. And so I want all the students to please just unmute and let us first chant one powerful, full Hare Krishna mantra to Maharaj first. I'm trying to do this now because actually my own class has started some 10-15 minutes ago and I need to go. But it's very, very uncultured for me to leave just suddenly like that. And that's why I've been waiting for this time. So let us unmute and chant one powerful mantra to Maharaj first.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
Damodara Maharaj ki jai. So yes, it's like okay. Jai. So having done this, I